Peace and blessings, family. This is your brother, asarimhotep, with the Martin Delaney Center for Egyptology. Today is Sunday, or Umoja, August the 14th, 2022. And we have back with us Brother Jean-Claude Mboli. And we're going to talk about the state of African historical linguistics. And all that and more when we return in just a moment. Welcome back. I want to thank each and every one of you who are joining us live on this Sunday. And it's a little earlier than normal, but as you know, we interview guests from around the world, and our time zones are a little different. So I'm not sure exactly where our guest is in the world at this moment. And so, you know, we're lucky to have him here today. He's actually joining us on his vacation. So I do appreciate, you know, him taking the time to have a brief conversation with us in the audience. And so just want to acknowledge, you know, those of you who have made yourself known in the comment section on YouTube. And so Althea Cross Lasha is in the building. Peace and blessings to you. Donnie Williams is in the building. Al Kevalon Mine, all the way on the West Coast, is in the building. Brother Sean, Ini Herrick Kalfani is in the building, and Tony Macaroni is in the building. We got Conan Lee all the way from the UK in the building, and I will continue to acknowledge more of you as you make yourself known in the comment section, like DSR and BX Lotus. Thank you for joining the conversation. So we're going to get, you know, straight into it today. And, you know, briefly, our guest is Brother Jean-Claude Mboli, and he is an electrical engineer and linguist out of the Republic Central Africa, and who currently lives in or resides in France. And we're going to talk to him today about the current state of African historical linguistics, and, you know, ask him a few questions about, you know, his upcoming works. You know, we first interviewed him. Matter of fact, it's been 7 years since we've had him on the program. So his first book was published in 2010, and so it's basically 12 years later. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that he has not been idle. He's been working and improving and verifying more information. And so without further ado, I want to welcome Brother Jean-Claude Mboli. Thank you for joining the program today.
Thank you, Brother asarimhotep. Good morning to everybody in the audience.
Indeed. Yes, and before we get started, I just want to make sure that everyone who was listening live or catching the archive, that you make sure that you hit the like button. Subscribe if you are not a subscriber, and make sure that you hit the bell so that you get the notice when we have these powerful interviews. And make sure that you share the program with friends and colleagues. So, to get started, what have you been up to since we last spoke 7 years ago on this program?
Sorry, you asking me question?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm asking you, what have you been up to since we spoke 7 years ago on this program?
Okay. Yeah, a lot of things occur. I have been writing my second book. It is supposed to be completed already 2 years ago, but I have a lot of things to do, both in my traditional work of electrical engineer, and also new tasks in linguistic fields. As you know, I am since I think 2 or 3 years now an associate researcher in the University of Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire, working in the Institut de Linguistique Appliquée, Institute of Applied Linguistics, English. And this also took me a lot of time to work, to participate, to colloquia, and the like. So things are very well oriented, and I'm busy.
Alrighty.
Working both in linguistics and in my traditional work of engineer.
Alrighty. I'm trying to find a good image of your text so that people can know. And I should have uploaded this beforehand. Here we go. And just briefly, for those who are not familiar with your text, can you tell them what this text is about here?
Of course, this text is somehow a continuation of Professor Teofil Ubinga works on African historical linguistics. His text was included in his book of 1993, Origine commune de l'Égyptien ancien, du copte et des langues africaines modernes. This is the title in French of this book. And my book is simply continuation, because at the end of this book, Ubinga called on African researchers to pursue his work and to apply rigorously the historical linguistic comparative methods to African language. And as you know, all his book was considered simply an introduction, So it is up to us to make the applications and to prove the genetic relatedness of all African languages, and in particular the relationship with ancient Egyptian. This is what was done in my book. I did it very rigorously, and in the process, I introduced new criteria to make my case more rigorous, more acceptable, more immune to critics, useless critics from Africanists. So this is what the criteria of the comparative method have been hardened in my book, so that the proof is okay. And I did it starting with my own language, Sango, but simultaneously this was done with a dozen of other African languages, including Middle Egyptians, Coptic, Zande, Hausa, which is a very important language in West Africa, Swahili, which is a Bantu language, Zande, Lingala, Bambara, and the like. So at the end of the process, I fully reconstructed the pre-dialectal ancestor, like we call it in linguistics, the mother of all these languages, in every aspect of its structure, both phonology, morphology, vocabulary, and the like, and even syntax. So this language, this mother language, is available for study, and we can use it to prove the genetic relatedness of new African languages. For example, Yoruba or Fulfulde and the like. It will be easy now that we add the mother tongue at hand.
Indeed. Now, we have with us Brother Rami, and because for some people it's a little hard to understand you, so if you need to speak in French, he'll translate for us, and we can do that. So, can you hear me well, Rami?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Hi, Rami.
Bonjour. Dois-je vous appeler professeur, docteur?
Non, simplement Jean-Claude Mboli.
Ok, Jean-Claude Mboli.
Oui.
Ok, bonjour. Moi, je m'appelle Rami Mongoul. J'habite en Afrique du Sud. Je suis vraiment très honoré de faire partir de cette émission, et surtout que j'apprends que vous parlez de l'origine linguistique de Bantu. Alors, je suis très intéressé. Alors, j'ai voulu participer à l'émission. Et ça a toujours été un honneur de pouvoir voir notre frère de l'Amérique, asarimhotep. J'ai toujours suivi ses émissions, alors je suis très heureux d'être ici.
Merci beaucoup. Et je pense en plus de votre intérêt pour mes recherches, vous serez d'une grande aide pour la traduction si jamais j'ai des difficultés à dire ce que j'ai à dire en anglais pour l'audience.
Merci beaucoup. I was just telling Jean-Claude that I'm very happy to be here. I've been following you for a while now, and it's an honor to be here. So thank you for having me.
Indeed, I appreciate you volunteering your services as well for the English-speaking people. And just briefly, before we get back to Brother Jean-Claude, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes.
Rami, yes.
My
you
name
hear
is
me?
I'm speaking to Rami. If just Rami can just say your full name, where you're from, and what you do in that, and then we'll go forward.
My name is Rami Mungulu. I'm Congolese. I was born in Kinshasa, DRC. I'm living right now in South Africa, where I am instructing in martial arts, as well as I'm an athlete. I compete as a pro kickboxer and Muay Thai.
Indeed, I've been wanting to train Muay Thai for a while. I guess that's a good reminder. I need to start. But well, the first question I'm gonna ask is in regards to the reception of the text. How has been the reception, or have you gotten feedback from the community, the linguistic community, regarding your 2010 book?
Well, to my surprise, the receptions was quite good and large, because as you know, I am not a conventional linguist with diploma. No, I don't have a degree in linguistics. So my fear was that people in the academy area would reject the book, and this is not the case. This is the contrary. It is intensely used in many universities worldwide, mainly in Western universities, and now step by step the book is being introduced in African universities, starting from North Africa, Algeria, Morocco, and now in sub-Saharan universities, like in Kujichagulia, Abidjan, where I'm working as associate researcher now, and the University of Yaoundé also, and new universities. The University of Niger also, but there still remain a lot of work to do, because African linguistics is massively influenced by Africanist ideology up to now, and it is very difficult, to change their mind. But this is what I'm doing.
I want to know your opinion on since you brought this up, because by training you're at the master's level of electrical engineering, and why is it you think that they are willing to accept linguistic arguments from such individuals as Christopher Ehret or Joseph Greenberg or Roger Blinch, when they too do not have degrees in linguistics, but in history and social anthropology? But it becomes an issue if you bring this up in regards to someone like yourself or Diop or even Obinga. And I know people think Obinga has a PhD in linguistics, but his PhD is in history. But he has external training in linguistics. So why do you think that that discrepancy? Why they try to use that criteria with yourself, Diop, but then with Christopher Ehret, Roger Blinch, and Joseph Greenberg, it's the exact opposite.
If I understand your question, you asking me to know why with similar backgrounds, Greenberg and Blanche and life work are accepted easily in the university, and minds are not.
If
This is the
you
question.
roughly, and if Brother Rami, if you understood and can relay it back in French so he can fully understand the question.
Would you please repeat the question again so I can be objective?
Okay. Given because he mentioned that when I asked him the question about the reception of his work, he mentioned that it's kind of hard to get into the African linguistic space because of the Greenberg area, and that he doesn't have the degree in linguistics, the PhD in linguistics. So I'm asking why does he think that is a barrier when Christopher Ehret, when Roger Blinch, or Joseph Greenberg also do not have degrees in linguistics?
Ok. Professeur Mboli, alors la question est de savoir comment ça se fait que quelqu'un comme Christopher Bleur, qui n'a pas eu de degré ou un PhD dans le linguistique, a pu rentrer dans l'histoire en tant qu'une personne qui a pu contribuer dans ce qu'on peut appeler un effort dans le linguistique, pendant que des personnes comme vous voulez pas commenter dans le linguistique parce que vous n'avez pas un PhD qui est reconnu. C'est ça la question.
Oui, I think that it is a question of availability. Greenberg and Branch are working in universities, already. They are influential in their own universities and worldwide. And I'm not, until my introduction to the University of Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan. This make a difference. And another difference, I think, is about about time. We have to let time work out all this. Like I just said, step by step, these ideas are being accepted even in African universities. And lastly, I were at the University of Mboli, Calabi for a colloquium, and they weren't aware of my book at all. And the question is that the discovery in the book, they were discovered, is so important. They ask themselves why this wasn't known in great extension in African universities. And it is always a question of, like I said in French, pesanteur. We researchers already have this habit to work with Greenberg classification, for example, and all works of such guys like Bench, Christopher Eret, just just something within the Greenberg paradigm. And these researchers are familiarized with this classification, with this mindset, and it is very difficult for them to change. This is the main issue, because the training is being based on Greenberg work. And there is no other counterpart, to these arguments at the knowledge. So these for me are key to understanding the current situation of historical linguistics in Africa. In addition to the fact that historical linguistics based on comparative method is very difficult. You know this. It's very, very, very difficult to apply, and people prefer to work with what Greenberg invented, and he invented this classification at purpose, just because the comparative method is very difficult, and he just tried to find a workaround to get to his conclusion very quickly. But this is not rigorous at all, and unfortunately, people are still basing the assertion on this kind of things.
Indeed. And so kind of in summary, you're saying that it's a combination of things, the issue of timing, and that they already are in the university system, so they kind of have access to you know, the departments and things. And then, you know, I guess laziness plays a factor as well.
Exactly.
Because the historical comparative method requires a high level of rigor and detail, which a lot of the Africanist linguists do not want to adhere to. And so I'm getting feedback from the comment section asking if Brother Rami would speak or ask him the question. You can speak in French and then have him translate it back, because your accent is very thick, and so some are having a difficult time understanding. I can understand you, but they can't. So we'll try that. So we'll try it on this question. The work that you are doing right now is dealing with, it's a continuation of your 2010 book, but you're dealing with Semitic languages and you're dealing with Indo-European languages. So what have you learned since the publication of your last book as a result of your new research regarding the relationship of those two language groups to Negro Egyptian? And you can respond in French.
Ok. Ce que j'ai découvert durant le travail que je suis en train de faire, c'est que tout ce que j'avais dit à propos du sémitique et de l'indo-européen reste valide dans les recherches actuelles. Et en particulier pour l'indo-européen, quasiment tous les mots de l'indo-européen sont d'origine africaine.
Can I go?
Yeah, you can.
So, what I've discovered during my work is it's nailing the fact that everything I've said about the semantic of the Semitic languages and Indo-European remain valid, especially when it comes to the Indo-European languages. They have in them African words and context.
And did you say semantic or semantics? Jean-Claude Mboli.
Sémitique.
Oh, Semitic.
Okay.
Proto-Sémitique.
All righty.
No, this is a language family.
Okay.
Sémitique.
All right. And if I remember correctly, you said that it appears that Indo-European is closer to, I guess, Negro Egyptian, or Proto-Indo-European is closer to Negro Egyptian than Semitic. Is that the case, or did I read that correctly?
Oui, c'est toujours le cas sur le plan du vocabulaire, effectivement. Sur le plan du vocabulaire, le proto-indo-européen est très proche des langues africaines comparé au sémitique. Mais tout ça se comprend parce que le sémitique est basé sur une branche morte du négro égyptien, hein, la branche Kikuki. Alors que le proto-indo-européen est issu de la dernière branche qui est le négro-égyptien post-classique.
Excuse me. So vocabulary, the Indo-European is very close to African languages, the recent African languages, compared to the Semitic languages, which are based to the more of ancient or dead Negro Egyptian languages. So practically what it's saying is that
exactly. Semitic languages are derived from a dead branch of the Negro-Egyptian language family. This branch is called Kikuki in my book. Whereas Proto-Indo-European is based on the most recent branch of the Negro-Egyptian language family. That branch is called post-classic Negro-Egyptian in my book. So it is normal that Proto-Indo-European, in terms of vocabulary, is closer to Negro-Egyptian than Semitic.
Yes, I'm trying to find the reconstructed map that I did of your language family, so people can follow that. I'll find it and post it. But can you tell us the origin of the feature of ablat in the language, or the changing of the vowels for grammatical purposes? Were you able to find that origin?
Yes. I will speak in French. L'origine de la blaout, comme on en voit en anglais, mais ça remonte aussi au proto-indo-européen. Cette origine est connue et s'explique tout simplement par des phénomènes phonétiques d'assimilation régressive. OK? Et donc, ça, c'est assez bien documenté déjà en indo-européen même. Et ensuite, dans le cadre des langues africaines. D'ailleurs, ce qui fait la différence, parce que vous savez que le négro-égyptien, dans sa dernière phase, s'est divisé en deux branches, OK, que j'ai appelé Béret d'un côté et Bér de l'autre. Eh bien, c'est ce phénomène d'ablaut qui est à l'origine de cette séparation en deux branches.
OK. Quelles sont les deux branches, professeur Jean-Claude?
Béret et Bér.
Et Bér. So the professor's reply was so the origin when it comes to the origin. Sorry. Yeah. What do you call it again? Can you say it again?
Ablat. It's a linguistic feature. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's saying that the phonetics is explained, the phenomenon is explained by assimilation with what we have as far as languages, Hindu languages, and Negro African languages or Negro Egyptian languages. he said he divided the languages barrier into two, which he called the bear and the bear, which is the two form of Negro Egyptian languages branches that he has. That from there they sort of by assimilation with phonetic they can find similarity with Negro African languages and Indo-European languages as well as Semitic languages. I don't know if that's clear.
Exact. Let us take some example. Okay. In English, for example, we say foot in singular, but we say feet in plural, right? Regarding this part of the body. Okay, so there is an ablaut in play here because you have a change of vowel. Foot with U in singular and feet with E in plural. Why? This is explained by regressive assimilation in the history of English, because we add in Old English a plural suffix, which is I, E. So to form the plural of foot from the singular, you added just E at the end, and this became footy. Okay, at that time. But by regressive assimilation, the vowel inside the root has been influenced by the vocalic suffix E of footy, and it became feet. And at the same time, the vocalic suffix E dropped out. This is why you come out with feet from feety, that come from footy. You know, all the process. Footy, then feety, and then with the drop of E, you have just feet. And it occurs synchronically as an ablaut. You know, if you don't know the history of English, you cannot understand this. You just see that to form the plural, you just change the vowel from U to E, like in goose in singular and geese in plural. You know, this is what it how it works, and the difference between the branch bere with the branch bear is explainable the same way. You know, for your understanding, the name bere came from the word for liver in Zandi, bere. They say bere to designate the liver in Zandi. And in Somali, they use the term bear to designate the same organ, the same things, the liver. So you can see that there is a relationship between bere and bear. It is the same kind of relationship between foot and feet. You know, it is like the final vowel has been reinserted inside the root synchronically. You have bere at the beginning, but the final vowel A of bere influenced the vowel inside the root before dropping out. And this is why you get a long vowel in bear. Do you understand? So always this is phonetic process.
Yeah, I'll just putting up for those who may not necessarily follow what he's saying when he says, you know, ber versus bere. These are the two branches of the Negro Egyptian post-classic Negro Egyptian that he reconstructed. And he mentioned earlier that the reason why if I understood correctly, the reason why that the Proto-Indo-European, in terms of its vocabulary, is closer to the African languages, because it evolved from a quote unquote more recent set of African languages versus the Semitic, which is evolved from an earlier third branch, the Kikuki branch. So he has the Kikuki and then the Kikwe and Kweki branches. Am I under? Did I convey that correctly?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. All righty. And
if you have outside the chart, I think it could help understand.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand what you were just saying there.
If you have the chart of the Negro Egyptian family.
Let me, because I just recently got a, I'm sorry, because I know sorry. Let's do that, and I'm going to share my screen. Right. So let me get this off. And can you see?
Yes. Exact. So you can see on the right that there is a dead branch of the classical Negro Egyptian. I call it Kikuki. And in fact, it is that branch that gives birth to Semitic. It is a very early stage of Negro Egyptian with three consonants. But in parallel, you have two other branches on the left called Kweke and Kekwe that later merge into a single final language that is post-classic Negro-Egyptian. And it is from this branch that Proto-Indo-European vocabulary originates. So it is no it is understandable that Proto-Indo-European being from that final stage share a lot of vocabulary with African languages. Because all African languages came from that very last stage of Negro-Egyptian called post-classic Negro-Egyptian. This is the reason.
All righty. And yeah, so, and I know this is an older, because I know you've updated this since your first publication.
Yes, yes, but it is sufficient to understand my point.
Indeed. All righty. And I know we're running out of time here. And matter of fact, our guest had a question. Where does the term Kikuki come from?
Okay. This term come from the way the words were assembled at this very stage of the language. You have syllable associated to form a root. And at this stage, roots are a collection of three syllables. And a lot of such roots have pronunciation like Kikuki or Kakuke or like fix similar. Okay, this is why I call it Kikuki, because you have a single consonant K and a set of three vowels, because at the time there are only three vowels in the language: I, U, and A. And the main consonant at the time is K. So to form a typical word at that branch, you have to associate this main consonant K with the three vowels, and this gives ki, ku, ki. It should be ka, ku, ke, or the like.
And I'm showing on the screen for people who follow my work, they know that I've changed the name Negro Egyptian to Chin into. But I've shown your kind of updated.
Yeah, this is update. Yeah.
Yeah, and how you have the word, because the word for bere and biher derives from words for liver, and we're showing how the Arabic word with the consonant cluster, I mean sequence KBD,
this
means
is
liver, and it follows that Kikuki
exactly
pattern.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. So yeah.
So you can see that in this very example, Proto-Indo-European is still in terms of vocabulary very close to African languages as compared to Semitic, because while you have in Semitic Kebed, you know, three consonants, a cluster of three consonants, really three consonants. You have in Proto-Indo-Europeans, you have something like bere or bear to designate the liver, because the word liver in English, it came from a bear language. It is a loan word coming from bear, liver, you know, because li is a prefix. It is typically the Bantu prefix li, like in Lingala. No, this is a prefix, and the root is there. In English, the root is there, or more originally bear, because bear between vowel changed to V and came there. So the very the original form is liber. This is a bear language in English. So if you have to put English
into one of the
somewhere on the chart, you will put it beside Somali. There, because you have liber. Liber or liver.
Yes.
Li being a prefix, a Bantu prefix. You drop it and you got bear. Okay.
Indeed. Well, I knew this was going to be a quick show, and so we've run out of time. And again, for those who are just joining us, Brother Jean-Claude Mboli is joining us on his vacation, so we don't want to take up more of his vacation time with family and the like. But we do appreciate you coming on and sharing some updates. And before we go, last question. Do you have a timeline or an expected timeline for when your next book will come out?
I hope end of next year. I hope. Because I have a lot of things to do, and also I have a lot of addition to put in the book, because I discovered many things that need to be shared in this book. So each time I add it, and this take time. So I think hopefully at the end of next year, the book will be issued.
Indeed. And we look forward to it. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you, brother
And I
Rami.
just to add that in this coming book, I will deal with the vocalization of the Egyptian language.
Yeah, I wish we had time to go in
Yeah.
that argument that you have to reconstruct ancient Egyptian before you can start comparing ancient Egyptian words with modern African languages. The argument made solely by Cambone, and he's been trying to spread that, and but I definitely look forward to that aspect
Okay.
of the text. But
everything will be dealt with in that book.
indeed. Well, again, I want to thank our guest, Brother Jean-Claude Mboli, and Brother Rami for his translation work and volunteering. And again, the Origin of African Languages book is available right now on Amazon, and hopefully by the end of 2023, we will get the new text. Have you figured out a name for it yet?
Not yet.
Indeed.
This will be a surprise.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for your time and for the conversation. And
I'm very sorry to be for being too short because I'm on a vacation. But your audience, if they have questions, they can put on the chat or from you, and I will answer at any moment. No problem.
No problem. Matter of fact, there's been a few questions. So what I'll do is I'll ask the questions in our private group, and if you respond to them, I'll post them in the comment section, and pin the comment to the top of the question and answers. So I'll do that. All righty.
Okay, no problem.
All righty, and again, thank you, Brother Rami. And
thank you very much.
I don't know when the next interview is going to be. Where I'm gonna keep the guest as a surprise, and we're trying to iron out the time. But as always, please subscribe to the channel, and you'll get the notices when we have our live shows as well as our uploaded interviews. And with that said, I pray that y'all have a blessed weekend and an upcoming week, and y'all stay safe. And until next time, peace.